Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael. Today I want to walk you through another one of my songs, but I want to really concentrate on the intro. So we're going to talk about how to write an intro, what are important elements of an intro, and what you can maybe do to improve your songs going forward. So let's get right into the song, and then I've got a couple things written down that I thought were things that I should emphasize, and then we'll talk about the song. So here it is. Okay, we're gonna stop there. I feel like where we just hit in the song is no longer really the intro. It's kind of like the build up to this another section. So, what did I write down here for important elements of an intro? The first thing, I think it's the most important one, to be honest, is start small. So, if you were paying attention to kind of the instruments and how they come in and out, we start with the piano at the top here, and it's just the piano. We have a couple of FX, like booms and whoosh hits, but instrument-wise, it's just the piano. And the piano, as I'll point out, starts to grow and grow and grow as it's leading through the intro. But start small, add new elements as you're going. Next thing I wrote down was tease instruments. Now, when I say tease, I mean like you're going to have short strings probably. Or maybe you won't, but let's say if you know you're going to use short strings, you're not going, on the scale of 0 to 100, you're not going 100% all out, balls to the wall with your strings in the intro. Save some for later. Show people that they're there. It catches people's attention, and then you'll get bigger later. I wrote, don't use all the instruments. So this song has, as you can see on the screen, I've got pulses, which we got pulses, FX, brams, percussion, choir, brass, strings, short strings being long strings, and then short strings. So I didn't use all those elements, right? You can even just look at all the green blocks. I'm saving some of it for later. If you come in with everything, it's hard to continue to build when all of the elements of your song are already right there from the beginning, right? It's just, you've used all of them. So where do you go from now? You could pull things away and come back with more again later, but maybe save some for later. Like even the percussion, it was just kind of like some simple hits, right? I'm saving the big stuff for later. Like I said, keep it simple. Okay, so keep it simple. Like I just said with the percussion, don't do too much right away. You don't want an intro is usually not 100%. So start slow, get bigger, and then not too long. I remember I wrote a song one time and I submitted it for some feedback, and the guy was like, cut like a minute. And it was ridiculous. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I was still learning. I am still learning. But 30 seconds, 40 seconds, depends on the song. But you don't want to, you kind of want to get to the point with your intro so that you can get to the next section. You don't want to prolong things. Keep it interesting. You'll see that the instruments I add here just come in and out quickly. It's like every couple of bars, new instrument, new instrument, new instrument. Okay, break. And then we have the next section, which we won't get to today. But so let's start with the piano. Actually, we'll put the FX as well. I think you get the point there. So basically, I introduced the melody with the chords. The chords don't change the whole way through. You can even see just a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. They do change in the sense that we add in another note. So the chords were 2 fingers. Now we've got 3 fingers. That's how I always think about it, is just fingers. But we've got 3 notes for the chords. And then the melody disappears. But we add in this little do, 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 do. as we're building towards the end of that intro. So piano on its own, about halfway through the piano being introduced, we start to hear this really beautiful synth thing. This kind of was like something that I came to pretty early, and I built a lot of stuff around it. So let's hear that along with the, actually let's just hear it on its own. So you can hear kind of like a sound. That's also in my effects, but that's basically just a little pulse that I have that I thought was kind of cool. You can hear it here. And what I did was I messed around with the EQ so that it moves left and right, and it just kind of gives it a little bit of character, so you can hear it changes through it as it's playing. Okay, so we've got the synth pluck coming in, and what I did with the strings was we got two sets of strings. So the short strings are just kind of mimicking what the synth pluck is doing. So let's hear those. You can see that's it. That's all we have for the intro. So again, we're not using all of it at once. So what you'll notice here is that the plucks start, it repeats itself, then the violin comes in to kind of build upon the pluck making that sound. So we didn't have, I could have had, as you can even see, I had the strings at one point like playing at the same time as the plucks, but then I went, no, let's conserve a little bit and bring the violins a little bit later so that it's something new to hear and it's catchy to the ear. So we've got the piano, we've got the synth, and we got the violin. So let's just hear a little bit of that together. So hearing the piano kind of change along with the violin come in, it makes things interesting. You can hear the changes, and it sounds very nice. So let's take a look at the long strings. So what I did for that was I basically took the chords from the piano and I layered them. That looks a little messy, but I took the chords from the piano and added them to the double bass, the cello, and the viola. So you can see that none of these instruments, for the most part, interfere with one another. So the bass is super low. Then we've got, so let's see, bass, cello in the middle, and then viola is making kind of like this beautiful trio, we'll say. Right? Sounds very nice. That's easy to listen to. That's honestly the meat and the potatoes of the song, at least in the intro. So what else do we have here? We have some stabs. Let's listen to the Brahms first, actually. So I don't know why I didn't mean to put them there, but it looks like my bass stabs are also in the percussion. That's okay. So let's listen to these guys. I'll leave the piano just so you have a reference point. Right? So that's just playing the root note. The stab, like this stab here, I was kind of playing around with it when I was mixing with it because it gets kind of like that grit at the end. It's like, wow, right? Great sound there. But we also have the pulse going along with it. So let's take a look at that. Simple. So on the low end, we basically have these stabs. We have some Brahms. Let's see how many we got in here. I think it's just, so we've got 1, 2, 3. So I'll break these down just a little bit more so it's explained. I didn't mean to mute it. I'll go like this. So it's like a mid. That's a mid kind of synth sound. Let's two of them now. It's a higher. So they're all playing the same thing. You might be asking, why do I have four different like versions of the same? This is the same thing playing. Basically, they're just different notes. So let me just show you. So this one drew the first note. So long, and then we've got the full range again. It's very similar to the long strings. We've got kind of like a low, we've got a mid, and we got a high. So that's what's going on in the bass. And then other than that, we've just got kind of these FX sounds, which is a hit. And you can see I put a different hit at the start because I wanted one that was longer than what I originally had, which you can see here. So here's the original hit, or boom, I should say. You know, pretty standard. And then later on, we get these kind of whoosh. And then some risers. So pretty basic stuff in terms of what is being played, but altogether it creates this nice intro. I think it really works. So let me play it one more time just so you guys can hear it all together now. If you guys would like me to break up this song, maybe do the whole way through, let me know. I've been looking at my videos and how they're doing, and I just thought I'd do something different here and kind of do an intro. But if you guys want me to do the full song, let me know. I'll figure it out. So here's the whole song again. Starts small. Tease the strings. I just realized I didn't go through the percussion, so let's go through that quickly. No point of even showing all. It's the same thing over and over again. Just basic hits, ba, 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 throughout the song. And then as you can see, we go from, what do we got? 5 instruments to 8, and it gets bigger and bigger. So that kind of is what I was talking about earlier about building and growing. So that's what's going on with the percussion. Really not that much. It's kind of emphasized or accentuated by the booms and the hits. It just creates this nice sound. So let's play the percussion along with the FX, and you'll kind of hear what I'm talking about. Right, it's cool stuff. So again, you didn't hear the brass that comes in later. If you guys, again, I'll leave it here. I feel like we had the elements. We had to keep it simple, add new things. Don't be too long. Don't be too short. Really give the listeners something interesting to listen to, and then move on to the next section. If you guys want me to do the rest of the song or maybe the ending or something like that, let me know, and I'll make a video like that. So again, thanks for checking out the channel as always. And have a great day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.